Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today we're going to work on the Integra again. I'm actually going to take the car out and try to clean up the tune that's on it because I kind of just threw a base map on it, tuned cruising very little bit, and set wide open rich, so I could just make sure the car was making boost and stuff last night. But now I'm actually going to take it out and try to tune it to, you know, where it's perfect, perfect. Yeah, so anyways, this car, like I said, it seems like it's got an oil leak coming from somewhere, like the head gasket or something, which could be partially because this guy likes to run Mobil 1, and Mobil 1 is a great oil, but for like a turbocharged, Honda motor, they have pretty loose seals and shit, so it's best to use like a conventional oil in a Honda, at least in my experience. I like to run Schaefer's, like 1030 or 1540. So I'm gonna get 2 cases of Schaefer's for him so he can grab it and take it home with him and change his oil and whatnot once he gets the car retuned and whatnot. Schaefer's, the Mobil 1 stuff is, the oil weight and stuff is correct, but Michael was saying it's just like a thinner oil overall, and especially being a synthetic, Hondas, from my experience, Hondas don't like fully synthetic oil, especially when you're turbocharged and all that happy shit. So we're gonna retune the car, throw the bumper back on it, and pick up some Schaefer's. All right, we just got this thing fired up, got the bumper put on, and we are ready to hit the road. Look at that front mount. We're cruising around in the Integra here, and I'm just cleaning up a few spots cruising right now. So yeah, all right. So at this spot at like 2100 RPM, pretty much everywhere was like 15.8, 16.0, and I'm just gonna try to get this car as close to 14.7 as possible. And I mean, right now we're cruising down the road at like 15.1, 14.9, 15.1. Then if I put it in third, give it a little RPM, we're still at 14.7. And you kind of want to just go in between the rev ranges, like I tell you guys all the time, and vary the throttle in and out until you tune the map where, everything's sitting where you want it. So cruising is done. And then I also noticed right away when I started coming into boost, when I start giving it throttle, it's really rich, which is how I had it set up when I made the base map. So I'll just stab it quick. Yeah, it's like 1050, 11.0. So we'll pull, that's just coming into it. So I'll pull, I don't know, 10% out of the areas right before boost and like at 1 pound of boost. We'll pull 10% out. And then I'll just stab it again. There, now we're like 12.2, 12.3, 12.2, which is good for, just coming into boost. God, dude, this thing is slam. I hate it. Jesus. We're hitting like little rocks in the road and it bottoms out. But yeah, now that looks pretty decent. And I also just played with the throttle tip in. The throttle tip in is like your it's like your accelerator pump on your carburetor. It shoots the initial burst of fuel when you punch the gas. And if I punched this thing real quick, it would actually go rich, like 10.0. So I pulled 15% out of the throttle tip in, and now we have a smooth, it goes right to 12.3 when I punch it. thing out on the open road and try to get the rest of the map tuned. What I like to do is I'll turn VTEC off and I'll tune non-VTEC first up to like 6,000 RPM, and then once that's tuned in where I want it, I'll turn VTEC on and then start tuning the VTEC map. All right, there we go. VTEC is disabled. We'll just run it up a little ways. Yeah, once it started coming into boost, it got really rich. So the area where we adjusted was good, but now you know, the area after the spot we adjusted is rich. So we'll have to pull over here, make an adjustment, and go try it again. So yeah, I'm just going to take the rest of the area where we did not adjust, and I'm going to pull 10% out of there. So now we should be dogpile chicken smile, I'm pretty sure. So we'll add that onto the ECU, go give her another hit. Is tuned now. I was just playing with the map a little bit and you know, smoothing and interpolating and then adjusting little increments here and there on the map that I could see, like, hey, you know, this spot looks like it'd be a little rich, so I pull fuel in that column, etc., etc. So now we'll turn VTEC on. I know when I took the car out yesterday, it came into VTEC and was extremely rich. So I'm going to go in here and pull out 10% to start. And then we'll give it a hit. All right, first pull with VTEC here. Pulled out another few percent. We're going to try it one more time. Oh yeah, this thing's smoking. Like I said, from the old turbo. Yeah, now that exhaust has got some heat in it, she's puking. I'm going to run it out and double check the tune one more time and make sure this thing's not going to boost creep. The shift light came on there and it kind of scared me, and I'm like, oh shit, check engine light, what am I doing? But it was just the shift light, so I'm changing the shift light now so it's higher, because like I said before, we actually tuned this car and set the rev limiter low because it was boost creeping and it was out of fuel, but now it's got fuel all day. Actually starting to clear up already. It didn't even smoke that time. Like I said, it's just because that exhaust was so full of shit. Yeah, this thing fucking pulls good. It's only on like 6 or 7 pounds. 6 to 8, anywhere in there. Yeah, feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Should we try second gear? This thing hooks and books. The clutch feels kind of shitty though. Now that this thing's actually making some power, when you shift, it kind of feels like it's starting to slip. Oh man. And it's real spongy. Or feels spongy, I should say. Okay guys, so we're back now with the car. I double checked everything back over again. Nothing's in the overflow, nothing's leaking oil wise. Everything seems to be good, other than the few minor oil leaks that it did have, and I think a lot of those will be alleviated once he gets that Mobil 1 oil out of there, and then puts the Schaefer's in. Yeah, so everything seems to be good on the car. The only other thing that I tried to address on the car is he's had a battery draining issue for pretty much ever since we put this car together. I didn't really notice it when we first worked on it because the battery didn't drain when I was working on it, and when I sent it back with him, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden it started having a battery drain issue again. So what I came to a culprit of why the battery was draining is I actually just checked. I actually have a video on my channel of how to check for parasitic battery loss or parasitic battery drain. I have a video on how to do it, and I just kind of did those steps and found out that the brake lights were actually stuck on. So I went under the dash and checked out why the brake switch was stuck, and turned out there's actually a little plastic piece that pushes on the brake switch, and that plastic piece actually fell out and broke. So what I did is I actually just took the one out of the clutch pedal, and I put it on the brake pedal. So now the car has a bypass clutch switch, but at least the battery's not going to drain and lose battery voltage in a few hours. So now I just tidied everything back up on the interior, got the ECU chip burned onto the computer, and I tucked the ECU back away, and this thing's all good to go. I'm just going to take it for one more drive, make sure everything is good now that it's onto the chip. Sometimes when you burn a chip onto a car, shit can change a little bit, but it's not common at all, especially with the new setup I got rolling with. Everything seems to be happy whenever I burn a chip using the flash and burn instead of actually burning the chip through chrome. So yeah, anyways, this thing's all wrapped up.
What's funny is when I'm filming right here, they probably think the camera's like stationary.
Oh really?
Yeah. You guys like my seat? There's the seat bolt hole.
There's your seat, right?
Yeah.
You should show them your seat.
I am showing them my seat.
Yeah, that's a nice seat.
It's a nice seat.
Yeah, you should buckle up.
Oh, let me work on that part. Put it to the floor?
There ain't even a buckle?
Nope. That's attached to the seat that's supposed to be here.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
you know what I did in Christian's car when he didn't have seat belts?
Sit on it?
Yep.
Perfect.
So what are we doing?
We're just checking the tune, making sure everything's good still, which it is. I feel like the car still has a little bit wiring issues somewhere, like a ground or something, because once in a while when Okay guys, so we just stuffed 2 cases of Schaefer's 1030 in the back of this car for him to come pick it up. Like I said, I wanted to run Schaefer's in this car, so he's going to end up changing that hopefully soon. And yeah, I might actually become. I would like to start selling Schaefer's oil. This stuff is like, you know, freaking gold. It works really good. It's my favorite oil. I run it in everything, and I actually just talked to the machine shop where I normally get the oil from, and I was just like, hey man, I'm not trying to rain on your parade or anything, but do you think I could maybe start selling some of it, you know, just so I can have it here for whenever, so I don't have to keep running up by him and, you know, bugging him a bunch to get some oil. And he said he's actually going to talk to the guy that you know, owns and operates Schaefer's, and he's going to talk to him for me and see if I can become a Schaefer's dealer, because that would be really cool to start selling good quality oil. And maybe we can do drop shipping or something for you know, selling the oil to you guys if you guys are interested. But yeah, in other news, probably going to cut this video off here pretty soon, but I am messing with my distributor for my hatch with the B20V turbo car, and I actually just took out the CYP sensor out of the distributor. That's the cylinder position, and that's the code that the car was getting. So I'm gonna just swap the sensor quick with another good one I got here. I'm gonna wire it in and see if that fixes my issue. If that doesn't fix the issue, then it's probably something in the harness or something at the ECU possibly. But I will be addressing that tonight and hopefully getting that sorted out as well. I did notice on the sensor that was in there, this is the old CYP sensor. You probably can't tell on camera, but there is like a hairline crack on it. So I'm thinking that maybe because it was cracked and, you know, just it's been used a little bit, there's some metal in here. So it might have just went bad. I don't think it's completely bad yet, but the code would come on when the car's cold, and then, you know, once the car warmed up, the code would go away. So I'm thinking that this sensor probably is just on its way out. So we're just going to replace it, and hopefully that fixes that issue. And we're going to get this Integra out of here, like I said. It still has like a weird starting issue sometimes. Maybe I'll demonstrate quick for you guys. Maybe it'll do it, maybe it won't. So I fixed the battery draining issue, and now, like I said, it, you know, engine light comes on like normal, and it starts and dies. It's not in the tune because the tach goes kind of crazy. So I think it's something in the wiring. You know, and then it dies right away. But if you like hold the starter, like crank it a little longer, it runs completely fine. No check engine lights, no nothing. So I don't know what the deal is there, but we're just gonna ship it like that, because I don't even know where to start with this car with all the wiring that it's got going on. So yeah, like I said, it never died on me or nothing like that. It just, like, once in a while it has that starting problem where it'll start and die. Like I said, it's probably something in the wiring by the ECU, I'm assuming. So yeah, but anyways, other than that, this car's doing phenomenal. Everything is working 100% great. I'm super happy with how this car turned out. So be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the video, and we're gonna try to keep pounding daily videos out for you guys as much as possible, and as much as I can stand doing. But yeah, so tomorrow or maybe tonight I'll film another video of doing the distributor and stuff on the hatch. I'm going to do an oil change on it. Since I went and got a bunch of oil, I got some more oil for my hatch, so I'm actually going to change the oil finally. And also I got the center cam cap O-ring and dowel pin coming tomorrow for the GSR motor that we built. This is CSS GSR, like I was telling you guys, with CSS and Weisco pistons, Eagle rod setup. So that thing should be out of here over the weekend. And then we got some other projects coming too. I got a CRX I might be working on, and there was another car somewhere in there too, and then possibly an EP3. I don't know if I'm gonna take that job on or not, we'll see. But yeah, so anyways, have a great one, guys.